Hello, welcome back to another video, or welcome if you're new. And first of all, oh my gosh, I have got to say a massive thank you to everyone that has subscribed to this channel. I cannot believe I've hit 1,000 subscribers. I love our community. I love everyone that watches and comments and subscribes and hopefully enjoys the videos. So thank you so much. It takes a lot to warm this cold dead heart of mine, and you think I'm joking, it's true, but I just thank you. So thank you so much to everyone. So I thought, as a little celebration, so there are going to be a lot of like new things happening on the channel sort of from October onwards, so just a quick kind of talk about that before I get into the actual video, which is a tag video I'm doing today. But basically October, Samhain, Halloween is kind of the witch's new year. So that is my new year. It's kind of fresh start, clean slate, all of that. So I'm doing a load of things. There's going to be new TBR kind of games based around tarot. There's going to be more witchy, vampire, occult, horror, fantasy fun on this channel moving forward. So just, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see or any topics and any kind of books that you love. But just like I said, thank you so much. And in celebration, I actually bought myself my first Halloween candy. So how cute is that? So thank you so very much to everyone. So today, it's going to be a tag video. So I haven't done a tag video since my first go years ago on booktube, but I saw Elliot Brooks, who I really love, do the Finally Fall book tag, and I thought, perfect. It is literally, we're in kind of like so yesterday was the 22nd, today's the 23rd. It was the first day of fall, you know, as a thank you. And I'm also going to be doing a kind of getting to know me more video as well, and like me and books and things like that. But yeah, fall tag. So I thought this would be a fun one to do and a fun one to do today. I do have my fall sweater. I've actually got a sweater on. It's gorgeous. It is this special edition collab with these incredible, can you see those hands in those books? How cool is this? Anyway, this is my official booktube fall sweater. I am sweating. But anyway, that's fine. It is also dark and rainy and stormy outside, so it's kind of perfect. So anyway, fall book tag. So I'm just going to go through the questions, give you my answers. You know how the drill works. Here we go. So the first question is, and I'm reading off my laptop, that's why I'm looking that way, is in fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. So I just can't do one. I have two. So two of actually my most recent reads. So the first one I've got is Our Wicked Histories. This is by Amy Goldsmith. I'm going to talk more about this book. I'm in love with it. It is dark academia, gothic, fairy tale, murder mystery, everything vibes in this. But the kind of the setting is, so the setup is this group of friends. There's something that happened at school, at this dance at school, and now as kind of they want to get back together and make amends, one of this group invites them all to her family's kind of old historic crumbling house in Ireland. And also this is over Halloween weekend, so epic. So the setting of this kind of Ireland is wet and it's cold, and it, you know, it has all the Irish fairy tales and folklore, so that really just kind of sets it up. And then you get to this house, and this house is really creepy and weird, and you don't really know what's going in on it. And then like the main character, she's an artist, or one of the main characters, and she kind of decorates for Halloween, in the description of sort of their Halloween and their costumes and this lake and just everything about this jar vibes. Like, if you want something for this time of year, if you want a book to read at Halloween that has Halloween in it, this one is amazing. Then the second one I've got here is also a recent read that I have fallen utterly and completely in love with. This is Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. And I won't go too much into the synopsis, because this is just like, I would say it's an adult fairy tale. It's an adult Harry Potter. It has got magic, but the setting on this, like the very first page where you're in this kind of like magic school library, is stunning. Then you go to this kind of sentient house almost that changes rooms depending on its mood. You also have this kind of landscape, this almost sort of fairy tale dystopian landscape. You have all these characters and creatures and the descriptions of them. It's just delicious. I just felt like I was in this world in this house with these characters, and it is immaculate. I love this book. So the next one, Nature is Beautiful but Also Dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. Actually, both of those first two books that I just talked about would fit that bill, but the one that I am kind of specifically highlighting is another one of my favorite reads this year, is Bitterthorn by Kat Dunn. This is about loss, loneliness, grief. It's got all of those. I mean, I think overridingly it's loneliness, but also grief, fear. The author was grieving their own mother when they were writing this book, and I just think it comes across. I connected with it on such a personal level. It is essentially a fairy tale about this witch that lives in this castle, and she comes down to the town every 50 years to get a new companion. And this particular year, and it's usually a boy from the village or a man from the village, this girl decides to go with her. She's lost her mother, her family's kind of ignoring her. She's in quite a desperate, dark, I would say almost depressed part of her life. So, you know, it deals with these heavy topics, but the book itself is beautiful. Again, setting, another kind of crazy sentient castle, the whole vibe and setting of this. It starts in autumn as well. Immaculate for this time of year. Hugely recommend this book. But also there's a beautiful love story interwoven in this, and the descriptions of nature and the forest around the castle and the actual castle itself and how nature's encroaching on the castle. Immaculate. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, fall is back to school season. Share a non-fiction book that taught you something. So I'm gonna mention a couple here. So two I haven't quite read yet, but I'm kind of getting to, and then this one, which is my favorite non-fiction book. It's one of my all-time favorite books, but it's one of my favorite non-fiction book of all time, and this is Just Kids by Patti Smith, and this is this gorgeous edition of this book because I actually have the normal softback copy and this because this is gorgeous. But for those of you who don't know, Patti Smith is a singer. She is a singer, songwriter, artist, poet, photographer, writer. She's incredible, and this is essentially her story and Robert Mapplethorpe. Robert Mapplethorpe was a celebrated photographer. He was also a gay man, so he was very much a queer icon. And this is how the two of them met in the 60s in New York. You've got the Chelsea Hotel, you've got Andy Warhol, you've got that entire scene in the 1960s. Again, if we're talking about immersing yourself, this book is a story about their friendship, their love, their careers, and how they kind of ascended. It is incredibly sad. Robert Mapplethorpe, I mean, if you know the story of, okay, I'm gonna, whether or not you know what happened to Robert Mapplethorpe or not, but this is kind of their memoir of their life, but it also just reads like a novel, and it is the most beautiful book. I've reread it many times, and I absolutely love it and recommend it hugely. And then two non-fiction books. So I have a lot of non-fiction books. I have a lot of stuff on fashion and the occult and goth and gothic and all of that stuff. And I might actually do a whole video on that. But two of the ones that I'm really looking forward to this season are this book. So, oh, God, that's shiny. Vampires, The Complete Guide to the World of the Undead. And this I actually found in a charity shop. And it is just, okay, I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is so cool. I mean, I have a lot of books on vampires. I love all things vampires. And this just, I mean, what more do I say? And then this one I just picked up actually yesterday. This is called The Queen of Wands. And this is the story of Pamela Coleman Smith. So she was apparently the artist behind one of the first tarot decks. And I think she's very much kind of an unsung artistic icon. And this is really beautiful because this is like a graphic novel. So it's her life story but told in a graphic novel, and it's just beautiful. So I think that's going to teach me something about Pamela Coleman Smith because I didn't know that, but also it's going to be beautiful to read. Then next one. Okay, the next one is to do a show pile of books with colourful spines. I shall insert that now. Yeah, stack. So here you go. Perfect fall vibes book stack. And we're back in the room. So then the next question is, fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein somebody tells a story. So I have picked Lucy Undying by Kirsten White. This is such a gorgeous book. It is basically taking Lucy Westenra's story from Dracula and giving her own story. And this is told both in narrative form in the current day, but you get like therapy sessions between Lucy and her therapist, which very much gives me Into the Vampire vibes. And then you also have Lucy's diary entries, and you're going through Lucy's life and she's telling you her story. And then you're also getting the current story, which is of Iris. And then you'll see how those stories connect in the end. But also Dracula, vampires, autumn. What more can I say? I actually skipped that. So that was question 6. I skipped question 4. Question 4 is, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group that you'd like to be part of. So again, I have 2 for this. So the first one, and how many times can I talk about this book? I hope I'm going to talk about this book in every video. So this is Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. Just my favorite new fantasy book. And the group of people in this, so essentially the short version of this is this girl kind of gets pulled into her favorite fantasy series, book series, and she basically becomes one of the characters in the series. And the group, I basically wanted to be part of the Nest of Vipers, is all I'm saying. And if you've read it, you know what I'm referring to, but I want to be a Viper with Raelle and her group. And then the next one, and this makes me, okay, so this is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. And again, I just, oh my. So this is very much a recent, I've literally just finished this, but this book did something to me, and she is a chonker. So this is 600 and something, I think it's close to a 700-page book. But I loved every single second. I think I wrote this in 4 days. I will talk more and more and more about this book, but this is, oh God, I cannot do a synopsis in this video. But on the front it says, Charles Dickens meets Joss Whedon in Miro's otherworldly Netflix binge-like novel. And that's a really good description. And you have this kind of really expansive world, this expansive cast of characters, these magical children, these people that are going to find these magical children and bring them back to an institute in Scotland. And I want to be part of their gang. I want to be part of Alice Quick's gang, and if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. I want to be part of these beautiful, magical children because they have lived really hard lives, as you can imagine, outcasts. This is set in, so it starts in 1880, 1882, and they form this incredible bond and this beautiful found family that, if you love found family tropes, I have no words. Right. Then, the nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. My favourite new fantasy series. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I read the first book. I've got the second book. I'm just about to go into it. I adored it. I adored it so much that I read it on paperback. I went and purchased the hardback just because I wanted the hardback novel. And I've also got the third one on hardback as well. This is dark. So dark romance, dark fantasy, but also has the most beautiful setting in Italy, Sicilian Italy. And it's about this girl, her twin sister gets killed. She's trying to figure out what happened to her. They're witches, their family's witches, but they hide it. So in this world, they have got to hide the fact that they're witches. So she thinks it might have something to do with that. And then she basically meets the 7 princes of hell. And Prince Wrath, yeah, he's helping her investigate her sister's death. And let's just say I would very, very happily sell my soul to Wrath and follow him to hell. Moving on. The days are getting colder. Name a short, hot, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. Now, you know I like it dark. you know I like it dark, but I wouldn't say this is necessarily too short. Let's check page count. So it's just over 315 pages. So to me, that's fairly short considering, you know, Ordinary Monsters. In the Company of Witches by Aurelie Wallace. So this book is so sweet. I'm not, I used to read like a series way back when that was a kind of a magical cozy witch series that I really loved, and I haven't read one in years. And I saw this and I was like, you know what? This cover is so bad it's good. So I don't know if you can see that. It's camera picking up properly. But I was like, practical magic is one of my favorite things in the world. Anything witchy, practical magic, the craft is my favorite. And I was like, oh, this kind of gives me those vibes. And it absolutely does. It's so sweet. So it's about this, basically it's these two sisters that own the aunts, that own a guest house, and their niece that's living with them. So it's very Sabrina. It's very practical magic. And they each have these powers. Again, the town doesn't know that they're witches. And someone dies, one of their guests dies, and one of the aunts is accused of murdering her. And the niece is trying to figure out what actually happened. So Bryn is the niece in this. Her backstory is also that her husband actually died. So she doesn't really want to use magic. But it is so sweet. It is so, I mean, the cat in this. There's also a crow called Dog that is very so if you know Salem from Sabrina, it's very Salem-like. I feel like this crow could talk. It seems to know more than your average corvid. It's just again, all of the vibes. This is set in autumn, and they literally talk about the pumpkin spice and the apples and the autumn, the crisp autumn vibe. Oh yes, if you love that kind of thing, yes. And then question 9 is, fall returns every year. Name an old favourite that you'd like to return to. And going from the rather sweet and wholesome, considering it's murder and witchcraft, to the not wholesome at all, and my favourite book of all time, which is Poppy C. Bright's Lost Souls. This copy is so old. You can see it's got plastic on it because when I bought it many, probably about 20 years ago, I wanted to protect it because I love this book so much. It is one of the vampire books. If you want to talk about 90s nihilistic vampires, this is it. I think it is one of the classics of the genre. I feel like this is one of those books, this Interview with the Vampire, Dracula, Carmilla. Those are the books that if you like vampires, you have to read. You just have to. And this gives a whole new kind of rock and roll, like I said, nihilistic, dark, New Orleans and the music scene. And there's probably about 1 million trigger warnings in here. I don't like, even though there are things that I like to confront my triggers, let's put it that way. So I never think about trigger warnings, but I would definitely look them up because there's a lot, just kind of thinking about the story. But this is just dark vampires, and like I said, that 90s grunge goth scene. I've read this so many times. I read it every year. It's one of my Halloween traditions, and it is superb. It's like a 10-star book. It is the book. And then the final question is, if that fall is all about cozy reading and what are my favorite accessories. So I didn't bring it with me, but one of the things that I have to have when I'm doing cozy reading is candles, scented candles. And this one actually is a pumpkin spice candle, and it smells. Oh, if we had smell-o-vision. Oh, I just blew up the candle. Excellent, well done. That I have to have, a blanket, a pillow, something cozy to wear. But yeah, I have to have my scented candles. I love having my flowers. I love having kind of a warm, hot cup of coffee, like a flavored coffee. At the moment, I've got hazelnut, some sort of either kind of instrumental classical style music playing in the background, sort of dark gothic-y style music, or just even the sound of the rain, the sound of fire. It's for me, I have to feel enveloped, and it has to feel cozy. I have to feel like I'm in an old gothic mansion, like in Crimson Peak while I'm reading. That is peak vibes for me. Oh, and some like really nice pumpkin spice cookies. Anyway, that was it. Thank you so very much for joining me. Again, thank you so much for all the subscribers. If you're still here, just comment like a fall emoji down below. Let me know what you're reading this fall, and I will speak to you all again very soon. Bye.